Hello, Tyson.
Oh, very nice. Smooth. Is this the musical episode, is it?
This is the crooner episode where Tyson and myself
Hey, that's a challenge.
We Scotch on the rocks and smoking throughout the entire episode. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be quite decent.
Well, we keep talking about doing some kind of like drinking game. And if we're ever going to, I would say that quarantine times is the time to have a drinking game.
That is... You know what? That is a good point. Maybe we'll do it for number 150.
Oh, yeah. Let's just get fucking drunk. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 148 of Nick Tys and Videotape.
Hello.
So things going well. That's 2 episodes away, our drunken extravaganza.
2 episodes away. We are going to get really shit-faced.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us this week, ladies and gentlemen, for our discussion on the 1995 Academy Award-winning Braveheart.
Braveheart,
which I'm very excited to have a chat about.
Yeah, let's talk that up.
This is what Hollywood epic means to our generation. I think. I know. The generation before us had their Lawrence of Arabia's and their David Lean and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Spartacus and all that stuff. Yeah.
Dr. Zhivago. We've got Braveheart.
Yeah. We've got Braveheart and Gladiator.
Yeah.
What else have we got? We've got. That's it. We got
Rob Roy.
Rob Roy. No, I would rather go Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, fair call. But thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. We're very glad to have you here. Nick, why don't you tell people where they can find our show if this is their first time tuning in?
Well, if it is, thank you so much for picking us through the plethora of movie podcasts that are out there. So you've chosen Nick Tys and Videotape. My name is Nick. This is my good friend Tyson.
Hey.
We talk about films. We don't really review them. We just talk about them.
Yeah.
We have a few segments, and other than that, thank you so much. So if you have listened to it all the way through, or listened to a previous episode, and you're just kicking on, please subscribe. Why not? Like, rate, review, all of those things. Exactly. Other than that, you can follow us on all the social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a YouTube account, which you can, if you listen to your podcast through YouTube, we don't actually have any footage of Tyson and myself. If you are after that, you're going to have to go to the Instagram and the
I was about
Facebook,
to say, you're going to have to go to Pornhub. If you want some footage. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, footage. But yes, other than that, Tyson and myself are big fans of the Letterboxd app. So if you wish to know what Tyson rated Braveheart, because it is quite high on his list. He has talked about Braveheart before a little. You're only going to see our ratings of the films that we talk about on Letterboxd.
That's it.
So if you wish to look us up or follow us, you can follow Tyson at TYS_videotape, and I am NIC_videotape.
That's it. And this week, Nick, I'm just going to shout out to anyone that's listening who could do us a huge favor and feels generous enough. If you do get the time this week, and if you can just spend like a 20 seconds of your day chucking us in your Instagram story. If you are listening to us, just take a snap, tag us in it, and chuck it on your story. We will be forever grateful for that. That would be really fun. And if you do that, we might even give you a shout out on the show and say thanks. True.
Well, since you have done that, I'm going to shout out fan of the podcast, Katie Weston. Is it Katie Weston? I think it is. She links us hardcore.
Oh, good on her.
All the time. She's on the best. She is pretty rad.
Yeah. Tune into a couple of episodes that we've had with Katie Weston on, and I hope to get her on again soon because it's always a good time. And we've never had an episode with you and Katie either. I know. She's been filling in when you haven't been able to make it.
Exactly, and I'm upset.
Yeah, no, we'll have a good time for sure.
Nice, I like it.
Nick, we're going to skip our regular first segment, talking trailers, because it's been a bit of a bare week.
That's true.
Where we're going to get a lot of that.
That's true.
And I can't be bothered talking about Magic Camp or whatever it's called, the Disney
That's true,
Plus.
Magic Camp.
Although I would like to see that. I'm going to be honest. That seems kind of fun, but
I'm not really going to lie to you. I will. Yeah, I will see that as well.
Yeah. But,
I love Adam Levine. I think he's great.
Yeah, he kind
hilarious.
of in certain doses I find him really funny, and then occasionally I just want to smack him. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to go for me. This might be just the perfect amount. We'll see. But we're going to jump to what is usually our last segment of the show, Nick, and we're going to bring that forward this week. Well, I'm going to need you to count me in for that, Nicholas.
Which is
what did you watch this week? I was about to say, where's the button? You got to put the button on.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did. There it is. So we're going to, jump through and just talk about what did we watch this week. Nick, what did you watch this week?
Yeah. What did I watch? I've watched a few things I can talk about. Let's talk. Oh God, I don't know. I really don't know. Let's talk about Constantine.
Oh, Constantine.
Yeah, I watched Constantine. I love Constantine. There are two movies that I would pay through the nose to get sequels, and one is Constantine, and the other I haven't watched the TV series. I haven't heard anything about the TV series. I might watch it, but it doesn't have Keanu, so it's pass.
Even though it's not true to the comic book, I want Keanu. I think he's so great in that role. Exactly. He really is awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. And I love the movie. It's one of the best depictions of hell throughout every film there is. Whenever you see hell, it's getting better. Don't look at whatever it is, Spawn. Don't look at that film because.
Hey, Spawn just got added to Netflix, by the way, and I am tempted. It's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. We could do that next week, maybe.
Oh, actually, we've got something exciting next week. I'll tell you about it later.
Really? Okay. But, yeah, one of the best depictions of hell. I love the world that it encompasses, the Constantine's world. It's the only time I really like religion, if that makes sense. The kind of fight between good and evil, and how exorcisms are just a day in the life for him. He does it all the time. He sees demons here and there. He has all these relics and things that he can use, like holy water. And there's one scene I looked it up. It's a rag, and he burns it, and it's on the street, and all these demons just explode. That's actually a rag from Moses's clothes that he burns, and
Jesus.
That.
You've got limited supply of that. Then I would assume. Was he just got trunks of Moses's old
He's got
jackets
trunks
and shit?
Exactly. Yeah, he's got trunks of it. But yeah, so all those little things, the fact that if you kill someone, there are certain things that if you do, you're going to hell, obviously, and they're known from the Bible and things like that.
Yep. And
all that stuff. My knowledge of the Catholic or religion is not that deep. Sure. I don't really know. I just love it. But certain things that you do. So obviously, killing someone, you go to hell. But he tried to off himself. So if you suicide, you don't go to hell. You don't go to heaven either. You go to hell.
Yes.
So he tried to commit suicide when he was younger because he thought. For those of you who don't know, I don't know why I'm telling you the story of Constantine. You've probably seen it, but I just love the fact that he's trying to buy his way back in. I think it's a great storyline, and the fact that I know he's meant to be British, which is fine. I've read Hellblazer, which is great and very, very British. But the fact that it's Americanized, I actually liked that. That was actually really good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I got no issues with it at all. Especially when you cast someone like Keanu in that role, he does such a good job that I'm kind of like, you know what? I'd much prefer Keanu just being Keanu than coming in and doing his bad British accent like he did in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. That's all we'd be talking about if he'd done that. No one would give a shit that they were like, oh, well, at least they made him British like the comic. Yeah. They'd be like, no, he sounded...
They'd be like, no.
He sounded like someone doing bad community theatre. Like...
Exactly.
Doing a Jane Austen play.
Exactly.
Which I have been part of.
Big fan of Constantine.
Yeah, no,
the other film that I want sequels of Constantine, and the other one that I would pay the nose through for is Dread.
Yeah, I know.
A sequel to Dread.
That's not going to happen, is it?
That's not going to happen. But fuck, yeah, I can dream.
Yeah.
The fact that we're getting a Snyder cut, I can, it's not completely unheard of. Do you know what I mean?
I saw a thumbnail for a YouTube video today, and this could have just been bullshit because it's those it's the Schmoes movie network. Do you know those guys?
No.
I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. The one thing that I do enjoy that they run is they do a trivia Schmodown, it's called, and they just get people on from the other YouTube personalities that run movie channels and things like that, and they just do movie trivia, and that's always that's fun for me because I just watch and it builds my knowledge, and I tend to do pretty well. And I like when I'm watching it, and I'm like, yeah, I could keep up with these guys. And then every now and then something I don't know, and I'm like, oh, that would have been a good one. Oh, and I get frustrated, so I look it up and I want to know it from then on. But so aside from that, I don't know how much truth they actually spit out. I feel like sometimes they're just a bit of a gossip machine. But I did see a thumbnail where they were mentioning something about a JJ cut of Rise of Skywalker now.
Oh God, yeah, I've heard this as well. And yeah, I get sure.
This is the door that has been opened, Nicholas.
It is. I know. And like, there's the fact that Aya's cut of Suicide Squad, piss off. Yeah. Yeah, the door's gonna be open until we see that Snyder's Justice League. Guess what? It doesn't make it any better. Sorry about that. It makes it different. It makes it different. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Let's shut that door.
Yeah.
Because
remember the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2? Where we got so excited because we got to see that.
Exactly. You got 2-3 scenes, I think.
Well, it's barely a movie though. Like, this is the thing. Like, it's assembled from like rehearsal footage and screen tests and all this kind of stuff and previs stuff. Exactly. And look, it's fine. I know that Justice League is not going to be that, but for a little while, that was about the best we could get. And even if that had been, if they'd spent another $10 million and actually like made that a real legit movie, I don't think it would make any difference to me. I'd still consider the movie the movie. And that's nothing more than a curiosity that I've seen once. And I'm like, yep, that's kind of interesting. But it's not the movie. Sure. The movie's still the movie. So yeah, it's so funny. It's just I just don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting
for sure. What else did you watch, Nick? Was there something else you can talk?
Yeah, I can talk about other things.
Yeah, talk about another one. Why not?
Will you pick, Tyson? How about I throw it to you? Oh. I watched War of the Planet of the Apes. I watched The Lion King. I watched WALL-E, and I watched Virgin Suicides.
I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion of War of the Planet of the Apes, seeing as we talked about it not that long ago, and I did watch it not that long ago. I put it on and I remember barely anything. I went in, it was like a fresh watch for me. It's a great feeling.
It was really good, wasn't it? Jeez, it was good. I totally forgot everything that happened, and it's just below Rise. Not Rise. What's my favorite one? The second one, Thorn. Thank you. It's just below that for me because it is so good, and it's flawless. Like, the storyline itself, what happens with everything, and how you can just see how they, because you think when they do the third one of this film, how are they going to change things? What's going to happen? Because the human race is still around, how are they going to change it so that we actually care and things like that? And the fact that, spoilers for War of the Planet of the Apes, the fact that the virus mutates is, you don't see it coming. And it's so good because it just comes out of nowhere and undercuts everything. And
it's a clever little twist. And I think they escalated. Well, they kind of sidestepped, I guess, from the second one. It's weird how, like, when you think about the things that make Dawn so good are the small kind of internal struggles, really. And then this one is much more on a grander scale, but it still doesn't like sacrifice those smaller moments either, like, which I really appreciated. No. Because, I think the best parts of Dawn are the Kobo and Caesar kind of rivalry. Yeah. Whereas in this, the best moments are kind of the like Great Escape style prison stuff, which is trying to get the prison, which is escalated, which does escalate it, but still keeps it on a really personal level. Like, which I always appreciate these movies manage to do that super effectively.
Yeah. And the tension between Woody Harrelson and Andy Serkis is insane.
Yeah, he's a great villain.
He punches off the screen. Like, seriously, you feel every moment of those. Like, it's full on, man. Yeah. Full on.
I feel like he'll never get past, though, that line delivery of "This will truly be a planet of apes," because it's quite funny. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding.
You had to put that in, did you? Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah. But yeah, it's just an amazing film. And like, even throughout the massive silverback that is with him from the start. I think that's the silverback from Rise that was kept in the cage that he finally frees. That Caesar does, and it dies in the end. And because he's been on that journey with him throughout, like there is more. You are more connected to these actors who are playing apes through mocap than you are with some movies out there that try their darndest to just try and get a connection with the audience. And this just has it in spades, man.
Well,
like spades.
There is something inherently empathetic about animals for a lot of people. I know I know that's not the case for everybody. But they, they cash in on that really well because, like they're so adorable as well. Like, you know what I mean? They're the coolest. You just want them hanging around, and you want to just like chill out with them.
Exactly. And I totally forgot about that older ape who's been out on his own since the start. He wears clothes. He wears a beanie and a jacket. Yeah,
and voiced by Steve Zahn. He's the best.
I totally forgot about him.
He's so great.
Oh my god,
really great little character, and like an interesting character as well because it's kind of gets him in shit sometimes, and like he's a little
but he's
bit
not dumb. He's very smart as well.
Yeah.
God, he's great.
Yeah, and the addition of the girl as well, the young girl who has now lost her voice, and I think that's
she has the early mutation. And that's kind of adding the girl is probably my only maybe ruffle of the feathers. Maybe.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
I don't think they really needed her. Well, they do for a major plot point, but I feel that it's kind of, it doesn't make the movie weaker in any way, but I think it could have done without.
I liked it because I didn't put two and two together at first. I thought she was not talking through trauma. Like, I thought it was one of those things where she'd experienced something and so was uncomfortable talking and was going to stay silent. And as the movie went on, I was kind of like, right. And it all kind of clicked with the original. But I hadn't, it didn't cross my mind at first, which I thought was clever because... Well, maybe I was just dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I suppose some people saw that she didn't speak and went straight off the bat and went, "Oh yeah, she's got the disease." But for me, I think they painted it in a way that it didn't come across that immediately. It took a little bit of development towards that, and I thought that was clever.
And that's seeing her for the first time, you do get that reaction. You're like, "Oh, she's gone through something, and she's, obviously something's happened. That's why she's not talking." Yeah, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
really,
good movies.
Really good film.
I'm gonna really enjoy having those in my collection for many years to come, and just cracking out every now and then and saying, "Yep, time to rewatch that trilogy."
Best, geez, and I've talked about this with a few friends at work back when people did go to work. What is the second best trilogy? Because people know they're the first. What's your second best?
Oh yeah,
and I think Planet of the and the Apes is my second best.
No, fair call.
I really do. Yeah,
Back to the Future first.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to go past.
Exactly. Yours is Lord of the Rings.
I think mine is Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's hard to go past. But Planet of the Apes. That's
John Wick is a trilogy, Tyson. Wick is a trilogy, Tyson.
It is going to be 4 soon, and 5 apparently.
And I heard that.
Yeah.
Can't go too long. He's 50, something. But,
well, it's not a slasher movie series. Like, do we? Yeah. Like, when are they just going to keep making them until John Wick's 14 kind of bombs, and then they go, I think we've had enough. Like, I'd much rather they told a complete story and finished it at
exactly
knew exactly when they were finishing it. Otherwise, just make a TV show or something. Like, just sell the rights to a TV.
Kill him. He's gonna have to kill him.
Yeah. Or
he's gonna have to die because you're going on too long now. Oh, and lives off
and
like
goes
Christian
off into
Bale.
Lives. That's it.
At the end of Rises.
Goes and has coffee with
I hate that end.
Catwoman.
Exactly. And just gives a little wink to Michael Caine.
Or in that case, it'll be
what's up, Michael Caine?
It'll be the guy that runs the cool guy that runs the Continental. Yeah. He's the best.
Oh, yeah. It'll be him. What did you watch, Tyson, this week?
I'll just talk about a couple of things briefly. I watched because I think a couple of weeks ago I was talking about how I watched a movie directed by J.C. Chandor called A Most Violent Year. I saw that he had a Netflix original action movie called Triple Frontier that I'd heard pretty good things about.
Sure.
Which is starring Ben Affleck and Charlie Hunnam and Oscar Isaac, who was in Most Violent Year. And it's a movie about mercenaries, these mercenaries that decide they're going to go and steal a shit ton of money from a drug lord, and they're going to basically do it on the down low so that they can pocket the money themselves, because they're a bit jaded from working for the government, doing all these dangerous gigs and kind of, scraping by to pay rent. So they go, and it just ends up being they get there way over their heads with the situation, and it becomes kind of this really quite interesting kind of morality tale about how far you'll go to protect this insane amount of money that they come across, right. And at what point is your survival more important, and at what point is the bond more important between them, and all that kind of stuff. But not only that, it's also the action is fucking great. Like, it's really, really tense, right. And the actual siege of the drug lord's mansion is some of the best action directing I've seen for a really long time. Real gritty, in your face war kind of direction that feels very realistic. And they all seem to be, they all look like they were training really hard, and all the little things that you sometimes take for granted, like the procedural parts of it, all seem to be, I mean, I have no idea because I'm not in any way military, but it seemed really legit, and they were like working really hard to make that stuff happen. I just like the way that this guy makes movies. I think I really enjoy the look of his films. His dialogue is always really interesting. This is actually co-written with him and Mark Bowl, who wrote The Hurt Locker. So that kind of drew me in as well. Really great performances. Like Ben Affleck, this is one of my favorite Ben Affleck performances. He's fantastic in this.
Really? I've never heard. Why have I never? This came out last year.
Because it's just Netflix originals. It just happens, man. Sometimes they catch fire. Sometimes they don't, and no one ever hears them. So really good cast. And really, it's a bit of a sit-in. It's over 2 hours for what is essentially an action movie. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's kind of it. I think it did pretty well for Netflix. Like, it got plenty of views, but it doesn't get talked about the way like Extraction or The Old Guard or anything like that got talked about. I think it just quietly went under the radar. People watched it, and then that was it. If you're looking for something on Netflix and you haven't seen this one yet, I definitely recommend Triple Frontier. The other thing
I've seen his. Hang on, I've seen JC Chandor's. I just looked him up. I've seen his other films, so I've seen Margin Call and All Is Lost.
Very good.
So I really, the Margin Call. The plot has to do with
was it the financial crisis?
2008. Yeah, financial crisis. Yeah. So that, for some reason, I'm really drawn to that storyline. I have no idea why. I've watched a lot of movies and docos on that. And All Is Lost looked really insane. That trailer looked so badass.
Yeah, that basically was the Robert Redford
by himself
out
of nowhere. And it was great. It was so good.
Yeah. Well, they're the two I haven't seen yet. So he's the first movie that I saw was The Most Violent Year. So now that I'm well and truly on the train, so I'm going to go back and watch those ones because I'm really excited.
Do it.
I just like the way he makes movies. I think he's really onto it. The other one I'll talk about, because I did see a couple of things, but we're going to save that because that might be coming in a couple of months, Nicholas.
To a theatre near you.
I'm just getting a bit of a head start on something. So if anyone following my letterbox might get a little sneak peek at something that might be coming in October.
Exactly.
But the other thing I will talk about is I watched for the first time Kiss the Girls.
For the first time?
Yeah. I never watched any of these based on book thrillers that all kind of came out in the wake of Seven and Silence of the Lambs and that kind of stuff. I missed that. And I knew that the Alex Cross series was pretty popular. You've got this one and Along Came a Spider.
It was.
And then you've got the remake.
And there was another one.
With Tyler Perry.
Yep.
Well, there was another one that I thought... There was another movie that had Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd in it that I thought was part of the same series, but it's not. That's called High Crimes.
No, they were just... Yeah, they were just cashing in.
Yeah, they were just... exactly.
At that point, they were cashing in.
They're like, hey, remember these two from Kiss the Girls? They're in this other movie.
Yeah, exactly. They're in the same thing, yeah. For some reason, I've seen this a lot. I have no idea why.
I think one of those movies that I think a lot of people... If it's on television, they're just like, oh, well, I'm watching Kiss the Girls now, I guess.
No, but it was prime like video store days. I had the preview tape and someone just gave it to me and I kept forgetting to take it back. So when I was bored, I just chucked on Kiss the Girls. It was such a random fucking thing to have. But yeah, what did you think, Tyson?
I didn't love Kiss the Girls. I'll be honest. I find a lot of those movies, they're a very particular breed of movie. They are the thriller that kind of is. It wishes it was Silence of the Lambs. It wishes it had that kind of critical success, but is more like, Double
an episode
Jeopardy.
Of NCIS.
It's an episode of Criminal Minds.
Exactly, 100%.
And look, I didn't hate it at all, but it is 100% like down the line an okay movie. I think Morgan Freeman is doing what Morgan Freeman does. He's usually pretty reliable in anything he does, and I would say that yes, he's pretty reliable in this. He makes the character pretty sympathetic and kind of at least interesting enough that you're like, well, thank God he's in this movie, because some of the other stuff that goes on, it just wasn't engaging. And this is the thing, like Ashley Judd's doing a really great job as well. Like she's really good. The movie allows itself these opportunities to have conversations that these kind of movies don't always have, which I found kind of refreshing. Conversations about, the regret, a bit of survivor's guilt kind of style conversations, which I found quite interesting. And I was like, well, that's a nice touch. These movies sometimes don't take the time to talk about that kind of stuff. But it's long, man. It's so it's almost 2 hours. It's 5 minutes short of 2 hours, and this could be a tight 90 any day of the week. And you feel it, man. You feel the length of this thing, because there's a middle chunk where I was checking out and I was really struggling to stay engaged. And you find that the revelations that the characters are going through aren't really all that revelatory to us. We're just kind of like, it's that guy.
Cool.
They found a photo of that guy. Okay, well, let's go talk to that guy then. Whereas they're like, dun, 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 this is the most important thing in the movie. And I'm like, well, no, it's all right. Yeah, okay.
Well, not really. It's a clue. Well done. Yeah, you're doing your job. Yeah. And I know what you're saying. Like there's like the conversation doesn't jump off the screen. It's not shot in a way that you're like, oh shit, how did they do that? Like,
no, he tries.
That was a really nice shot.
He does try. It's directed by Gary Fleder, I think his name is. Or Felder, I don't know. Wherever the L is. He tries. He's directed a few other movies. Oh, it's so middle of the road. And that's his bread and butter, because he directed that that Don't Say a Word. Do you remember that one?
Oh fuck, I hated that movie.
That is the definition of middle of the road adult thriller. What was Gothica? That was another middle of the road. Gothica.
It wasn't the sort of the same, but it was a horror-ish version of this.
That's got the bit of the supernatural. So I don't. It's not a strong recommend. If anyone is listening and thinks that A Long Cape of Spider is better, I've heard it's not as good, which kind of makes me think, well, then I'm not going anywhere near it. But if it's worth trying that one out, let me know. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to be revisiting this one the same way I would revisit some of those other ones. Like, I enjoyed Double Jeopardy more than this, and that's kind of trash, that movie.
Really? That was after this, wasn't it? Was it after this?
I think that was 98, maybe.
I think that was like Ashley Judd just went on a spree of doing these.
She did.
That's all she did, I feel.
Yes.
Did she?
But at least that movie kind of knows that it's a bit trashy. Like,
right.
Like something like The Firm, it's a great movie, but it has this kind of trashy element to it. Whereas I think this movie took itself way too seriously, and it was really trying to be Silence of the Lambs when it should have been trying to be like Fatal Attraction, or something that has that, or something like Disclosure. Let's say Disclosure. Like, you know what I mean? Those movies
without the computer editing. Yeah.
They
absolutely.
know, those movies know that they're a bit sleazy. You know
trashy.
What I mean? They're trashy.
Yeah.
But that's good for these kind of movies. You need that streak in them. Otherwise they end up being really kind of depressing and dour. And like, there's some lines in this about the way they talk about some of the abuse of the women. It's so matter of fact and so cold that you're just like, oh, I didn't need that image in my head. Thank you. What kind of movie am I watching? Because if I'm not watching Silence of the Lambs, then I don't want to hear this shit. Like,
you're just wasting my time.
You're wasting my time, because this movie's not good enough to be telling me about how the state of one of the victims' vaginas. I was just like, oh god, Thanks for depressing the shit out of me.
Thank you.
I thought I was watching a kind of a trashy serial killer thriller, not like not something that's going to depress the shit out of me. Anyway,
exactly. And I remember scenes in this. You're like, you don't need that. What was that scene for? Like, I remember anytime a movie does that, like it gets to the point where I'm bored, I start going, okay, so you didn't need that scene. What did that scene tell me? It told me nothing. It pisses Sam off to no end because I end up pausing the movie and going, so that was a good scene. What did that scene do? And she go, okay, babe, calm down. It's just a fucking film. I'm like, well, it's not. It's a fucking waste of money is what it is.
That's it. It's a waste of my goddamn time. But yeah, I'm sure the novel is fine, but I also thought some of the twists were would play a lot better in novel form than they do in movie form.
Right.
When you just
did you pick it, Tyson? Come on. Did you pick the killer?
So no, because the movie doesn't. This is the problem with the movie. The movie doesn't allow you the opportunity to because it gives you no clues. So this is. That's true. I get shirty with movies like this because then when they announce the killer at the end, and it's like this big shock. But at no point in the movie has any information even led you to even suspect that person. I'm just kind of like, fuck off. That's such a joke. Because for some reason, I know Tony Goldwyn's voice. Like, I could pick it out of a lineup. So as soon as he started talking at the start of the movie, I was like, oh, that's Tony Goldwyn. And so I was like, well, he's the killer. And then he's the killer. When he came on as the plastic surgeon, and I was like, yeah, great. I like him a lot. I can't remember what movie it is that I know his voice so well from, but it just, for some reason, it's just burned into my brain. And then, spoilers for Kiss the Girls, when it got to the end and he was in a partnership with Carrie Ells, Ewells. I was just kind of like, but he's done. At no point in the movie did we, and it's one of those things where you know it has to be somebody that you've met so far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the movie hasn't even tried to set up any red herrings, or hasn't tried to. Well, it did with that psychologist kind of
or something.
But he had his other cop buddy. There were two other. There was the one he knew really well. There were the two other cops. There was even Jeremy Piven, for God's sake. If he had have turned up at the end, and had been the other one and had faked the shooting, at least you'd be like, oh, that was pretty. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. But the fact that it's Carrie Elwes, you're just kind of like, yeah, but he's just been a cop the whole time. He hasn't even tried to kind of mislead or send Morgan Freeman down the wrong path, or give him, or kind of dob on him, or make life harder for him. Anyway, whatever.
Or an argument, argument. Give me an argument between
even
the two.
Even just like a kind of a difference of opinions in the way to investigate the case. They're actually, like, aside from that regular kind of pissing contest that you have when it's a cop from a different jurisdiction, they never really butted heads on anything. So it was just kind of like, whatever.
Oh. Okay.
And then he does that thing where his southern accent just disappears while he's revealing himself as the killer, and I'm just like, oh, right, whatever. Anyway, spent way too long talking about high crime. Not high crimes, but it's fucking Kiss the Girls.
Let's move on.
Feature press.
Feature press.
And now for our feature presentation.
I came back home to raise crops and, God willing, a family.
So you want me to marry you then?
Well, that's a bit sudden, but all right.
Is that what you call a proposal?
I love you. Always have. I want to marry you.
In a land of timeless beauty, William Wallace was a man of peace.
I want to stay here with you.
And I with you.
You say you want to stay out of the troubles? If I can live in peace, I will.
But when they threatened his world...
Edward Longshanks is the most ruthless king ever to sit on the throne of England.
Scotland. My land.
And the woman he loved.
I want a home and children. It's all for nothing if you don't have freedom.
He was driven to war.
Go back to England and tell them there that Scotland's daughters and her sons are yours no more.
The rebellion has begun.
Under who?
William Wallace.
He rallies new volunteers in every Scottish town.
We've come to fight and to die for you.
Stand up, man. I'm not the Pope.
Pick a flock of your finest assassins and set a meeting.
My lord, Wallace is renowned for his ability to smell an ambush.
We'll dispatch our future queen with the notion that she comes in peace.
Longshanks desires peace.
He declares it to me, I swear it.
You tell your king, William Wallace will not be ruled, nor will any Scot while I live.
He waits for you at York. If you are man enough to come and face him.
Why do you help me?
Because of the way you are looking at me now.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Well, we didn't get dressed up for nothing.
We can't beat an army. We can! And we will! Would you be willing, for one chance, just one chance, to tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
If we win, we'll have what none of us have ever had before. A country of our own.
Mel Gibson, Braveheart.
I was going to say that score gets me every single time.
It is.
Every time.
Yeah, look, this is...
It is up there.
It is up there. It's probably my favourite James Horner because I like it.
Really?
The only thing is, like, it's very reminiscent of, like, I think he took what he did here and ran with it with Titanic. But I think he used a little bit more of that synthy string side of things in Titanic that he was obsessed with in the 90s, where it's clearly not real instruments. It's all those ha 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 stuff where he he only uses that sparingly in this score, which is I like it more because I think it feels just a little bit more authentic. And he loves himself a bagpipe. Old James Horner.
Oh, well,
I mean, you got to have it in this
movie.
but
kind of have to fucking.
He has them all
movie.
through Titanic. There's
he
pipes
does.
all
He
through
does.
Titanic as well.
I remember that. But before we get too far ahead, Tyson, you were the one that picked Braveheart.
Yeah.
What is your first? How do you remember your first watching of Braveheart?
Oh no, I couldn't remember it in a million years. But
because I actually remember mine. But keep going.
No, that's pretty impressive. Well, your story is far more exciting than mine. Then, so go.
Oh well, it was at a family friend. So mum and dad took us. We used to go to their friends every Friday, and they used to watch a movie. We ended up watching that. Now, fuck me, this is not a short film, man. This is a sit-in. I totally forgot that Braveheart is 3 hours long.
and
I was like, oh yeah,
you do feel the 3 hours, but not in a bad way at all. You feel
not in a bad way. Yeah.
It's not like one of those. It's not like when you go and watch, like Endgame, for instance, where you don't feel the 3 hours because it's just like so much is going on. You feel the 3 hours of Braveheart, but it's fine because you're happy to be there. You're just kind of like...
Exactly. You're loving it. Yeah, absolutely. So we went to friends' houses and end up watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even though I think I must have been 8 or 9, I think. I was 8 or 9.
Well past bedtime.
Yeah, I was young. Yeah, well past. But was I 8 or 9? 95. Fuck yeah. I don't know how old I was.
No, that's 12,
anyway,
13.
12, 13. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we watched it, and they got into a discussion at the end because I remember. This is why I remember it, because they got into the discussion of, do you need to see the violence? What happens at the end to William Wallace? Do you need to see what happens to him in order for it to have that effect? And my dad actually asked me the question, Nick, do you think? And it's the first time ever I remember my dad asking me almost like a debating question, like a what is your opinion question. Yeah. And it's the first time I remember my dad asking me that.
And that's actually it stuck. Yeah. It might be even your first kind of like analytical thought about movies. I can't remember the exact time, but I know there was a time when all movies were just the best things in the world, and I'd just watch movies, and there became a point where I started thinking about them differently, and it was kind of like, oh, hey, why do I like this movie more than this movie? Why is that movie not good? And it was that was the time when you started to actually have an opinion and form a view on the creativity of a piece. But that's kind of cool, man. I like that. Yeah. I started watching this about 8:15 last night, and then when it was getting near and up on 11:30, you're kind of like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This was a day watch for me. Thank God. Little man was at grandma's, and I watched it in the day. It was nice. After lunch, had a nice cup of tea ready.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's it. You
it
put
was
this on
lovely.
after lunch, and next thing you know, you're having dinner. It's good. I like
Exactly.
it.
It was so good.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Look, this is. I don't really remember a time before Braveheart, to be honest. It's one of those movies that's just been
right.
in my subconscious. Like, I just think it's existed forever, and it's. I turn to it very often. I don't watch it all the time, but it's a very, like we were saying, even though it goes 3 hours, it's a really easy watch, I think, when you feel like this kind of movie. I think it's hard to go past Braveheart because it has really does have everything, and I think its reputation is a little unfair, that it's like, because it's not the big brutal action film that I think some people paint it as.
Right.
Considering it spends a good hour before anything really violent happens.
Good point.
Like, you've got to be in it. You've got to be invested. You just spend all this time with these characters at the start. At that first big battle where they may take our lives. I feel like that's a good hour and 10, hour 20 into the movie. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 'cause it's a nice setup. You want to get to know those characters. So yeah, I didn't realize that this has not a bad rap, obviously, but it has a reputation because of the how romanticized it is, and how much fiction Mel Gibson put into it.
Yeah.
I looked it up and read a fair bit, and I love it. I think it's fine. I think he's
literally zero concerns about this.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would understand, like, if you do have ancestors, like if your heritage is Scottish and you are like a Highlander or Lowlander and things like that, then obviously you would have probably a bit of difference of opinion compared to two guys from Australia. So yeah. But
yes, but it's not like anybody is sitting there. I mean, the only people that are sitting there watching Braveheart and then going, "Wow, this really happened," are idiots. Like, you know what I mean? I think there is a belief that too many people look at movies that are based on true stories and go, like, we all sit around going, "Wow, that's exactly how it went down," and that's not. I don't ever really think that. Do you ever really think that? Do you watch I don't watch something, I watch some movies if it says, based on a true story, I always go in with a certain amount of trepidation because I don't want to go, oh, okay, this is exactly how it went down. You need to have that filter and that ability to go, okay, no, this is based on it. Let's go have a look and see how close it is.
Exactly. Because you have to know in your subconscious in the back of your mind that, one, you're watching a movie, and two, you're watching it because of entertainment value. So they're going to either romanticize or dramatize what you're watching. So take your favorite, Tyson, JFK, for example.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Obviously, the things in that and how dramatic that piece is, which is, it's such a fucking good movie that it holds you by the neck and just makes you watch it. Obviously, there are moments in that don't exactly happen or line up how they would.
Well, the thing about what you need to remember with those kind of movies is that is based primarily on one person's viewpoint of those events. So, like, he's made that movie from the information that Jim Garrison has provided in his own book, and that is all speculative. There's a lot of speculation in that, but the movie plays it as truth, because it's from his point of view. So that, as long as you know that and you don't walk away in the end going, wow, all that shit really happened. That happened. It's not at all. It's there to provide to tell one person's kind of side of it in that. Whereas in this case, I think it's more Mel Gibson sees the potential for a really good fucking movie. And has taken, like, what's the difference? There is no difference between this and someone saying, oh, the Amityville horror movies are based on a true story. You know what I mean? Because if you, like, it's the same thing. That no one is walking around claiming that Braveheart is a 100% true story.
Exactly.
Like, I would have to double check, but I don't think anybody at the Oscar time, when they were accepting awards, was like, I'd like to dedicate this to the memory of William Wallace, who did all the things that he did in this movie. Like, I think people are pretty well aware that it was a fictionalized account of that. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Not at the time. I looked it up and they had big qualms, but yeah.
I have no qualms.
Big qualms. I have no qualms.
Because, I don't, sure, maybe that movie might be as entertaining, but this movie is damn entertaining. And there are choices, I know certain choices that are made that are that are integral to making the movie artistically kind of coherent that wouldn't exist if it told the truth entirely. Like little things like, just how like beats and synchronicity and little callbacks and things like that. Like they're the things that we go to narratively that make it rich. And if they don't exist in real life, it's okay to create them for a movie because it's our movie. It's not a documentary.
Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
That's a bit of a rant.
I think. Yeah, I know. I think people forget how good this movie is.
I agree.
I really think they do.
When I see this pop up on those lists of like overrated Best Picture winners, I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. This is
bullshit.
This is a perfect example of a certain kind of movie making that that I really admire. I actually think it has a lot in common with Titanic. When I was watching it the other night, I was like, I see a lot of similarities as storytelling technique and that old school kind of epic Hollywood movie making. I think there's a lot of similarities there, and I know some people don't like Titanic either, but for me, I'm kind of like, who are these people? Go and watch,
Absolutely.
Go and watch something else then, because there are some of us that really love
stick to documentaries if that's
or I don't know, like your mumblecore stuff, or your like there is a real pleasure in watching just grand Hollywood movie making. In my opinion, I really love that.
Yeah.
So, and this is a great example.
That's what you massively. Oh, my first my first note is I think this is the best example of a score intertwining a film with magic. So many moments from the secret wedding that they have at the start, that theme weaving throughout the film to finally, I can't say it without rolling my R's. Walking through the walking through the crowd at the end. Tyson, there were many times I had to wipe away tears.
Oh yeah. This is a big time. Oh, I'm getting tears, all kinds of tears flowing on this one. Yeah. And look, so amazing. Horner struck gold with that theme. Like, it's not hard. It's like structurally what's happening on behind it is also really easy. If I had my keyboard plugged in, I'd play the progression, because it's really, there's not much going on at all. But he really nailed it. And he knows it too, because he uses it a lot in the movie. He relies on that heavily. But that's okay. He knows he struck gold. But
exactly. And there's little subtle, like it's not full blown all the time. Just little here and there, bringing it back to the theme and things like that. Oh,
yeah. He saves different instruments for different purposes of it. So, like, when it's the pipes, there's a bit more of a kind of a hopefulness in it. It's a bit more melancholy.
Yeah.
But there's the one time when he uses it when Robert the Bruce betrays him, and it kicks in, and it's a full string orchestra, like it's the full thing, and it feels so much sadder when it's so much more like full
when he's on his knees. And, it's fucking shit.
But every now and then, like when it's just a little pipe or something, it's like this. It's just this simple, beautiful little melody, and then other times it's like
me, man.
Cutting your heart out. Yeah.
Mel Gibson, Tyson. This is his second film, I'm going to say. So he did Man Without a Face beforehand, which I really like Man Without a Face.
I've never seen Man Without a Face.
It's an old favorite of mine. Like those, it's one of those films, Tyson, that we talk about how in the 90s they made it, and it literally was for adults, and that was it. It's very hard to advertise the movie like Man Without a Face, but yeah. And then this is his second, and he wins Best Director and Best Picture.
Yeah,
for this one. And
I think it's
well deserved, man.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
I think it's still his best movie. I think.
There's still some parts of this movie that you can still tell he's kind of a newish director. There are some things that I was like, I probably wouldn't have put that in. I probably would have just left that out. But still, like,
I get what you mean.
I'm talking about very minuscule things.
Yeah, I like that he's a bit more. The thing I like about this one is he's a little bit more adventurous. This one feels, if you compare this to like Hacksaw Ridge, for instance, this has got so much more like he lets this breathe a ton. Like, there are shots in this movie that he just lets it linger and lets you watch someone's facial expression and just let them exist in that character moment. And it is beautiful, and it's like, it really gets you. Like, there's the bit where the two kids at the funeral, and she, which is, it's probably the most important part of the movie, really, is when the girl comes and brings the is it like a violet? A thistle.
It's a thistle.
And if you watch it, it's like there's like a good 10-second hold on the young Mel Gibson, and then it cuts, and it's a 10-second hold on the young Madeline, and then it cuts back, and we're in no rush, absolutely no rush at all. And I love it so much because it makes you
He's setting you up.
He is.
It's a beautiful setup, yeah.
And I feel like he's kind of lost a bit of that. Like, he's lost the ability. No, that sounds wrong. But he's less interested in like making sure the emotional moments connect. Although
but
he
this
also
is a young. I would.
Sorry, you go.
I would say that you're bang on, and it kind of coincides with his acting as well, because his acting in Braveheart compared to something new, I believe, has not changed, but it's different.
You're right though, but unfortunately, he's kind of having to work in different. I say unfortunately, but he's potentially human garbage.
He dug that own hole. Man.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I can, like I said, we can always still, it's the art, not the artist, all that kind of stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has the opportunity to work in these kind of situations anymore. The performances that I've seen from him recently, I've actually quite enjoyed, but they're very different kinds of movies. So he doesn't have the opportunity to act in a movie like this anymore. So I can see. I think you're right. I think his style has changed a lot, but I think it's partly due to the opportunities that he's found himself in as well.
100%.
But if you watch something like Dragged Across Concrete, he's just incredible in it, but it's a very different style of acting for sure. Really, he's much more minimalistic, much more naturalistic, really leaning into the fact that he's kind of a grizzled old man now. Lots of that kind of stuff.
And in Braveheart, like, there's scenes, especially at the start, before things kick off, you can see that he's front and center of that screen, and he's a leading man, and he owns it. He plants his feet and owns it, and he looks like one. He looks great. He looks really good.
It's a pretty ballsy move to make your first introduction to just be a full, like, close-up shot, like, of your face, and just, like, letting it linger for a little bit and be like, check me out. I look pretty fucking good with this hair, don't I? Because that's what he's doing. And it takes balls, man, to be that confident. And sometimes, like it's kind of that argument I have about James Cameron. These movies are so good because he's a cocky fucking bastard. And I think that's partly this movie as well. If you've got that confidence.
Well, he had to come in with that confidence because Mel didn't want to star in it. He tried his heart to get anyone else to do it. And the studio said, we're not going to give you the money unless you star in it.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. And he's like, well, fuck, okay. Well, it looks like I'm doing it. Yeah. So balls to the wall, Tyson. Seriously.
Yeah. He's really great in it.
And
he really
plays it off. Yeah.
He's like I said, he's human garbage, but he's a legit movie star. Like, his charisma on screen, he's out of control. Yeah. He's just magnetic on a screen, and like I said, it's a shame that you can't root for him anymore because of his personal choices.
Yeah. In anything, like Mel Gibson, in anything that any of his movies, I don't think I've seen a lackluster. Like, I'm saying that having not seen The Beaver, or Get the Gringo. So I haven't seen
Get the Gringo's good. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like to Get the Gringo a lot.
So I haven't seen those things. So yeah, I've always been attracted to Mel Gibson's acting, to be specific.
And he's also a very handsome man. So
he's he's not a bad looker. He's not a bad looker.
Not at all. Yeah. And look, his progression as a director is something that I find really interesting as well, because I think it's amazing that for me his worst movie is his most recent, and they've only gotten worse, which I think it's really interesting that his progression has gone the opposite way. I think a lot of people build towards or learn new skills and build towards their great one, or have a fluctuation. The fact that he started or like second movie, wonderful.
Yeah.
And then look, I have a lot of good things to say about both Passion of the Christ and Apocalypto, but I think they are both on the downward trajectory for sure.
Yeah.
And then Hacksaw Ridge is just a drop out of the arse of that of in quality. So it's so weird that there's no fluctuation there.
Genuine hatred for the movie.
Oh, like it
agree
burns deep the hatred for that movie that I have.
I know. I love it. I know. It's I love it. It's both of us. Both of us have a hatred for that movie.
Oh, I don't know why.
And we've talked about it so much on this podcast.
It just burned me so much.
We've wasted enough time on fucking Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It didn't help. It didn't help that it starred fucking Andrew Garfield.
See, I've got nothing against Andrew Garfield. He's okay.
Sure.
Like,
I think Passion of the Christ, I've only seen it once. But I remember I'm not big on religious movies, but
unless it's the battle of good versus evil in comic book form.
In Constantine.
Yeah.
In Constantine.
I get
exactly. Exactly.
There is a bit of that in Passion of the Christ, though.
Gold crucifixes. Yeah, there is.
There's that weird
Passion was shot so fucking well. Like, it looked amazing. I remember that much. That's how much it stuck.
I'm a bit of a fan of that movie. I know it's kind of...
Yeah, right.
It's kind of gross and it's a bit... But see, I don't have... Like, I grew up in a religious household, but I have no personal religious belief anymore. So I don't see it as like this kind of like, oh, wow, it's such a passionate... passion, what a choice of words. It's such a true telling of what Christ really went through. I don't see that at all. I kind of see it as like a horror movie, almost in line to something like Constantine, where this man who believes that he is aligned with God has to deal with this other creature that is the devil. Like, I found it really fucking cool. And obviously, it's the violence is a bit much, but it's like it's very purposeful. It's an extension of what you were talking about before, I think, at the end of this movie, and whether or not that's... Because it's funny you mentioned that. It's
exactly right.
The same conversation I had with Rachel. She said the same, because she's a huge fan of this movie. This is like one of those movies where her holiday house...
Braveheart or Passion?
Braveheart. So the house, house that she stays at over summer has like 4 DVDs. You know those houses that only have like 4 random DVDs?
I like it. What are they?
Well, I don't know all of them, but one of them is Braveheart. So... Like at
Pause
least...
the fucking podcast and go ask her.
I'll get a list. I'll get a list for next time.
All right. I want the list.
But yeah, so she loves it. But she even said the same thing. It's like, do we need all that violence at the end? And
right.
I'm kind of of the opinion that I'm fine with it. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm fine with it.
Are you talking about Passion now?
No, Braveheart.
I'm fine with it. Yeah. I think the violence in Braveheart is just. And going on Passion as well, I think the violence in Passion is just. Because he's showing you, I'm not going to show, like, if you were to compare Braveheart with Passion, like, it's showing you some, but not all, not everything that happens to William Wallace, where you show everything that happens to Jim Caviezel, and there is a reason that he's putting it on the screen. Do you know what I mean? There's a purpose to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Braveheart, all you need to see is all of those tools that guy shows, and that's it. You don't need to see anything else.
Well, I found it.
You get little specks of blood.
Yeah, exactly.
On his chin when he screams
that's
freedom.
And I thought I actually remembered that being a little bit more brutal than it was. I mean, it drags on. I think it goes on for a bit of time, but I think he's actually quite restrained in the end. Like, because obviously having seen Passion of the Christ and Apocalypto and Hacksaw Ridge, he loves his violence. He loves it. But he actually doesn't... There's not a lot there. He doesn't show a lot of it. Aside from, like... We just have to use our imagination. When they start, disemboweling him or cutting him up. Yeah. Like, we just... All we hear is some subtle little kind of...
Yeah,
fleshy noises and him him doing that sound.
Yeah, the double breath. Yeah, that's
And so
there is in reading about Braveheart before we did the podcast, he had to cut quite a bit of the violence out. I know that he cut a fair bit out.
Yeah.
So that the studio didn't want to show that much violence. Obviously, I think because they knew maybe it was that, having seen, what they would have seen, cut a little bit out, and guess what? It's going to get into the nominations.
Sure.
I think maybe that's the thinking there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, like, obviously, try and avoid it can be because I mean this thing we watched this when we were 13, 14, 15 years old. So,
everyone watched
this movie. So you sit down. It somehow, even though it's clear as day on the rating, it's I think it's got an MA rating in Australia, high level violence, something like that.
Yeah.
But no one gave two shits. Parents sat down with their 10-year-old kids and went, "Oh, come on, we'll watch Braveheart."
We're going to watch Braveheart, yeah.
And
look at that leg cut off. Yeah.
Exactly. Look at that guy cop an axe in the head.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez, that's a bit tough, isn't it?
And so, I think maybe they understood that it was going to be a movie for the whole family. It was going to have that kind of reputation. Exactly. So they were just like, well, let's just try and keep the innards away from the camera. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when that leg gets cut off in the first battle, it's not gushing blood Tarantino style.
No.
It's almost like it gets cut off and it's clean. It's like cauterized. You're like, oh, that's a leg
I wouldn't
off.
be surprised if that was just that was like a stuntman who had one leg and they did it like they did it old school.
It was like, sure.
Just swung a blunt axe at some clothes.
Yeah. Back in 95 though, Tyson, we were on TV. It wasn't Game of Thrones, but we had Hercules and Xena and what else? There was that TV show Gladiators. It was we had some violence going on. Of course we're going to watch. Kids, come and watch Braveheart. Come on.
I do remember initially being quite shocked by, like, when I was younger watching this the first time. I do remember being pretty shocked with what I was seeing, thinking that it was like, wow, this is pretty brutal. I would not want to be in this because there's no chance I would not survive this. I was fairly certain. I'd be dead. I'd be dead in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And they, even the way that they, even the way he shoots people getting shot with arrows, it made it look so much more painful than other times I'd seen.
Yeah. It was, he did very well there, didn't he? It was almost removing, to make it quick, he almost removes 1 second of celluloid so it kind of snaps and all of a sudden the person's got an arrow in them. Like, Jesus.
And he also doesn't, like, it's, for all we've talked about him being kind of fascinated with violence, he doesn't linger on those shots either. He generally, so when someone cops it real bad, we tend to get like 2 or 3 frames of it and then we cut straight to something else. The only ones that he leaves it on, I think he doesn't even show Merlin getting her throat cut. He films it from the head up, which is really much more classy. We see the English Lord get his throat slit. Yeah, but there was a reason for that. Yeah, and I feel like I think he's making choices to say that the violence that he really wants to show is the ones that is the evil. Like when there's people that are evil receiving violence, he allows it to be something that we don't glorify, but we hang on it a little bit more. And maybe that was a deliberate choice to say when it's something like Merlin, she doesn't deserve it, so we don't see it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. But it kicks it almost, we don't see it. Does it make it more poignant if we don't see it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it means because it means that we have to imagine it, and we and in both cases with Wallace's death and Merrin's death, we're forced to just look at their faces while it happens, and we're forced to consider them as human beings. Whereas with the other ones, our kind of voyeuristic eyes might be more drawn to the actual violence as opposed to the having to just stare the human in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a deliberate choice. Back to the finale for a sec, though. It was I did notice last night how much more bloody the Stations of the Cross it was. Like, this was his trial run for Passion of the Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he brings him in on a crucifix. He's got his arms out ready to go. He faces, faces tests and tortures and all that kind of thing. And it's essentially the same thing. It's like, a lot of what the Jesus stuff was, it was just, just say you're not God, and we'll deal with this quickly.
And we'll stop.
Yeah. And so it was, he obviously saw in Wallace a way to kind of mirror that story, and knowing that he's quite a crazy religious man, I think he kind of embraced that and went, okay. So that's probably also why it feels so drawn out, because he wanted to imply that kind of constant, like the real kind of how much strength you need to not give in, and so he wanted it to last longer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because him saying freedom wouldn't have the effect that it does unless we'd been there the whole time and had those moments of people going, come on, just say mercy, and having the crowd turn and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember much about the end. I remember a lot about the start, right up until the freedom speech, and then I don't remember the rest of. I remember Robert the Bruce being an absolute prick, and I hated him. But in this watching, I was like, oh, okay. So he's see where naive young character. Nick, you kind of, Robert the Bruce, maybe just grow some balls and not listen to the leper.
Yeah. He's so good in this. I've kind of slept on Angus McFadden in this. He's. I thought he was great in
he was.
I really enjoyed his performance watching this last night.
Yeah, you feel all ranges of emotions for that character. Like there are moments where you fucking hate him.
Yeah,
and there are moments where you absolutely just feel sorry for him, especially at the end when he's there on the battlefield and they're like, "Well, you're going to fight with me now." I'm like, "Oh, mate, I almost feel bad for you." Like, hopefully they'll follow you, and they do.
But that's what I mean. It's like it's such a great moment at the end where he takes the step and finally kind of does what he has to do for it. Because it's hard to say, like, it's hard to watch what he does and not want him just to die. Like, you want the way the other noblemen, you're so happy to see them get what they get because they're scumbags. Yeah. But I think McFadden plays it so cleverly because he does potentially what is one of the worst things. He actually joins the side. He actually represents. Like, he goes and hangs out with fucking Longshanks for a bit. That's how much of an ass kisser he is. But we still don't want him dead. Like, we still manage to sympathise for him. So
because William sees in him something that we don't. The other thing. So in not having remembered these things, at the end when he does the freedoms, when he yells freedom, I thought he got brought out. I didn't know I forgot that they tortured him.
Yeah, right.
I thought they literally just racked him and cut him, and that was it. I thought end scene.
Sure.
I totally forgot. Pardon me, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I totally forgot that seems like and everything like that.
That seems like a bad idea. Like, you'd lose a few that way, wouldn't you? You'd think
hanging him.
Yeah. Don't you think you'd have a couple that you'd drag up and then you just go, fuck, we left them up too long. No, okay, it's all over. Go home.
Snapped his neck. We snapped his neck.
Yeah.
Damn it. You weren't meant to do that.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
It's not my fault. Did you tie the knot? And then it turns into a Monty Python fucking speech.
I didn't tie the knot. You tied the knot. No, you tied the knot. I saw you do it.
Well done, Philip. You're the fucking idiot, aren't you? Well done, mate.
I feel like there is a Monty Python skit where there's an executioner of some description wearing one of those big sacks who can't figure out where to chop. Oh, there must be. Oh, God.
Just cut his head off then. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
I'll get blood on me.
On me. God, I just fucking washed this. You want me to get blood on it? Well, you're the executioner. It's almost like a fucking Monty.
So is. Yeah, you get to see that.
It's so good. So good.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, they'd lose a few that way probably. And they'd lose a few with the horse. I mean, come on, that horse. If that horse kicks, surely.
Yeah. Well, at least like arms and legs would be dislocated.
That's what I was because we were talking about it last night. We were like, okay, so what's it going to do? It's going to dislocate your arms and your legs. But from what joint? I was like, does it dislocate your knee or does it rip it out from your hip? I was like, where would it come from?
I think it'd be your ankles. Your ankles would snap, and the rope would go over your limp foot.
Yeah, hey, that's a good point.
But the thing is, if you escape,
but the thing is, you'd be like, "Oh, see you suckers," and you'd just swing the other way, and then off you go.
But if they get the horse to kind of kick and run, it's literally going to pull a limb off. Wouldn't it pull a limb off?
Well, there's a movie where somebody ties up people's limbs to horses, and I feel like, is that Black Death? Is that in Black Death?
I haven't seen that movie.
I feel like someone gets pulled apart by horses. I think it's Sean Bean gets pulled apart by horses in that movie. Anyway,
Jesus,
yeah,
man.
he cops it rough. Gone. Anyway, yeah. So that was because we had a big discussion about that last time we were watching. We were really like, I'd be interested to know exactly what would happen, like in like to
what would happen back then. Yeah,
if that was the case, and if you were strong enough, could you like anchor yourself against it? I wonder.
Oh, and pull what against the horse?
So yeah, if you could hold enough resistance, because as long as the horse wasn't literally like galloping away, because then you're fucked. But it looks like all it was doing was just trying to pull,
just stepping forward. Yeah.
So if you would you be able to like anchor? Anyway, This is not anything to do with movie making. This is just something I want Mythbusters to do, and I'm sure they've probably done an episode on it, and I would like to see that dummy of theirs get pulled apart by a horse.
Good Lord. Tyson, you're a sick man.
No, I just like to know the science, Nick. It's about the science.
Yeah, video. It is about the science. It is. I forget.
What else? Hey, so I got a question. So let's talk.
Oh, here we go.
During this, I just clicked something. Did I fuck it up? No, it's all good.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So let's say this prima nocta thing was a real deal, right?
It was. But yeah,
I mean, was it a real deal again?
I had to look it up. Yeah. I had to look it up. It was only done in France. Yeah.
You just wouldn't have a wedding.
You would do them all in secret. Like, it would be a blanket thing that no one would get married. You'd be like, yeah, cool. We just won't get married.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
We'll be together, but we're not
hang
married.
Out and date. Yeah, we didn't get married.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We didn't get married. Fuck you.
It's not like there's any kind of legality to it like there is nowadays where it's like you need a visa or something. Like, it's just people are just hanging out in shanty towns. Who needs to get married?
When I get married,
they're having like this giant party, and I'm like, guys,
I know, you're just fucking advertising for your wife to get.
He was probably just sitting in his castle and was like, "Hey, what's that noise?
What's going on down there?
Is that a wedding?
Are they getting married down there? That's a wedding. Oh, let's go down.
Let's go.
I'm going to introduce myself. Fucking awful.
I've had a quiet week, so this will make me feel a lot better. Oh,
that is awful. But how fucking poignant is it when all the men just start fucking arguing and punching and everything like that, and the bride just comes in and just quietly just hands on people's shoulders, puts the sword down, and Jesus, this film kills me on multiple fucking levels.
It's a really sensitive and tender moment for Mel Gibson to direct. I find. I think the way he just, I know this is it's only because we know what we know about him, but some of the interactions with female characters in this movie are really quite lovely and tender.
Yeah,
and it's kind of, it seems surprising from him. Like, like I think Merrin is a really nice character too, and a really well established character, and
and Princess Isabel as well. Like all her scenes, she's not a weak character in any sense. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. She's strong. She gets what she wants. Like,
but but they're strong but incredibly feminine. And so like it's not like he's had to man them up to get these moments to have poignancy. He allows them to be incredibly feminine, and that's what I find kind of surprising about his direction, I think. Like even just like the like we talk about it, but the little kids, man, that moment, the kid with the thistle, God, that's so good. Yeah, that's so good.
It was good, wasn't it? It was good. It was.
What else?
It was.
Do you know what Mel Gibson's really good at? Making, when we talk about like, the moments of cinema that if you played like at the Oscars, it's like the clip packages.
Oh, sure.
Mel Gibson knows how to do a cinematic moment. Like, he really does. This movie is full of them.
Yeah.
You can't go 15 seconds without seeing something that's like, that is an iconic moment. That is an iconic moment. My favorite one is, so, I mean, there's obviously, like we talked about, the first shot of him where it's just this shot of his face and you're just kind of like in awe of his Scottish beauty. You're just kind of like, man, that is a chiseled jaw. But it's, my favorite one is so after the English Lord cuts Merrin's throat, he just turns around, he wipes the blade and he goes, all right, now let him come to me, or whatever it is. And all of a sudden the music just goes, gunk. And we have just this cold shots and smoke and fog, and you just see little snippets of him, and the music's just going, and it's so like, it's such a...
You're fucked.
Man, he's so good at just saying, this is... Okay, here we go. Iconic. Starting now. Yeah. Here is the scene. Yeah. This is where it is. He knows what he's doing.
I love that. I love that little bit of music that they use in that that you were talking about. Like, it was so, and they don't use it again in the movie. No. But Jesus, it's
very
so
deliberate, very particular moment. Yeah. But then even like, obviously, the much more popular ones like the sword swinging in the throwing the sword and the swinging back and forth, and obviously the fucking the dream sequence. My God, how good is that when the
Jesus.
Where he's just seeing him ride through the flames with the face painted and the blood all over him. It's
and
just like
blood all over him.
Oh,
And then the fact that it fucking does happen, Jesus, I don't remember that scene at all.
So
I was like, you would literally shit yourself. You would if you woke up from that dream and then he came in on a horseback in your fucking bedroom.
you'd
Jesus Christ, that is petrifying. That is fucking you would shit.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I remembered what I was going to say. Hey, when he shoots the cinematic scenes that you're talking about, they're so good that if you were to take any one of them, you'd be able to tell, oh, that's from Braveheart. I know where that's from.
100%. Yeah, you're right. And it wouldn't even need any of them in it. It could just be
any music. No. Just show that shot. Bang. Braveheart.
Last night was also the first time that I've really started to notice that these movies are starting to look old now, which is really kind of interesting to me.
Oh,
like, remember when there was that period of time?
I only noticed it in the
where we used to kind of like I could watch a movie from 1991 and still feel like it was made yesterday. But now it's starting to happen. It really is. You're starting to watch these movies and say, "Oh, I can see the age of them now," and not in a bad way, not in a bad way at all. But just the same way I watch, the same way I feel when I watch something from the 70s or 60s. It's starting to happen with the movies from the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh,
how funny is that? 95, is that like 20? How long is that ago?
Well, that's 25 years ago, yeah.
25 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we're due for some kind of like special edition Blu-ray again.
Blu-ray.
I feel like they did a 15th anniversary and then a 20th anniversary. So we're due for the 25th.
Of Braveheart.
Yeah,
man.
Nick, I own this twice, and I had to pay to rent it, and because all my DVDs and stuff are in boxes at the moment.
Still in boxes.
So
Tys, get those boxes out, man. I'm telling you. I went through my collection. I thought I had Braveheart. I swear I had it, but no, clearly I don't. I had to pay for it as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fair deal.
I didn't love, just on a side note, I didn't love the Apple transfer. Did you?
No, mine was awful.
It wasn't great, was it?
Awful. No, I could tell.
It said it was 4K.
DVD.
And I'm like...
I was like, bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't think it was... It was probably a 4K transfer, but I don't think they took it from 4K. I think it was just an upscaled, maybe 2K or Blu-ray. Because...
Mine was, 480. 480 at best.
No.
Like...
no.
Oh, God.
But I was a bit disappointed with that, by the way.
Yeah, my favourite cinematic scene that you could pick was when he's hunting the deer.
Oh,
he's hunting the deer and really still, and the Irishman just fucking full tilts at him, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Because I remember seeing that. I remember when the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh no!" And because he helped him, and he's like, "Oh," and his beautiful Irish accent just went, "I think the Lord's here, putting me on this earth to save your ass," and I was like, "Oh, that is so good." But yeah, the Irish guy running full tilt at him, and him turning
good choice.
with the bow.
Very good choice. I like that a lot.
So good.
Can we just have a moment for crazy Irish Steve, who is like secret MVP of this movie?
He really is. He really is.
So such a great characterization.
So many moments too, as well.
Yeah. And also is kind of the architect of one of my favorite moments of this movie is when the Irish and the Scottish are charging towards each other and then just stop.
Yeah.
And all hug each other and it's like, hey!
And embrace.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Such a great little moment.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the moment is destroyed forever because we never see it for the first time. But I remember seeing that for the first time was such, like, that got me. I did not expect that at all. So well done.
So good. So good. It's I think what you were saying before about this movie looking its age, I think you see it most in the battle scenes, I think. Now, you've got to remember, CG didn't really exist in 95. It did in some, but very, very early stages. So every person on those battlefields is real. They had to get the number, they had to get the bodies out there. So yeah, it's only in those moments that you see it. There's a little some continuity, like he'll be running with the Braveheart sword, then all of a sudden he's got an axe, then he's got the sword, then he's got the axe, and I'm like, oh god, come on!
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Is
that really happening?
Yeah,
that's funny.
There's like it happened like in that one scene where they're charging in the first battle.
Yeah.
It's like swap. I was like, oh fucking hell, who's on continuity?
I did not know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so it was. I remember this being so, like those battle scenes being so overwhelming, but you're right. You look at him now and it's kind of like, oh, there's like 200 people.
And I'm like,
is that the whole, I wonder if that was the, like, if they were going for some kind of realism in that, and that was the general size of what usually would take place in those kind of battles, or if it was just a matter of we're going to just use this many people and imply that there's a lot more people, because there's moments of it when you see them and you just kind of, you are not at all overwhelmed. You know, when you watch something, you're right, since the days of CGI has changed, but I think of something like Troy, which has a shot deliberately in it to show just the vastness of the army they're fighting, this sweeping shot across it.
The fucking across the sea, the one with the boats. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the one with when they're defending the gates of Troy, and it starts.
Yeah.
It starts down the bottom, and he pans up while they're all attacking, and it's like they all hit like waves crashing, basically. And it's such a different vibe because you do really feel the scope. Whereas in this, it's kind of like it's just like a scrap at the park. It's like,
man, I'm in. Let's do it.
A couple of different social clubs just got together and like let's have a brawl with these guys. Yeah, let's do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So you do feel the numbers in this. Like it's and I like it.
I do like it too.
It feels age though.
I don't mind that though. I've got because it's going to forever. Like it's going to be iconic forever, and it'll join. You like I was saying, your Lawrence of Arabia. It'll kind of sit alongside those ones. Your Ben-Hur. It's going to have that quality to it, I think, and I'm fine with it. That's cool.
That life, absolutely. It is. I do feel it though. Like when you get to the when they win that battle and they get to the end and he just turns around and screams and you just see how many bodies they've gone through. I was like, Jesus, you guys did fucking well, didn't you? Shit. How are you still alive, old man? Again, shit. Like,
I feel like that's a running gag in this movie is how much shit James Cosmo can take before he dies. Like he cops arrows, he gets his hand cut off.
Seriously. So good.
Just fucking smiles. He's great. He's popped up he just for a little stint in the late 90s, early 2000s. He popped up in every epic battle movie as the grizzled old guy, and I love him for it. He's in so much shit, and it's just like, hey, it's James Cosmo. I love him. I forgot that he got his hand chopped off. That was that one's because by that point I'm laughing though because he's just had so much shit go on with him.
Yeah. Arrows and fucking an axe to the chest.
Yeah,
and he's fucking winning.
And that's the one that gets him. He's eventually he's gonna have to go.
Yeah, the axe. Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's so funny because he's taking all of these things, yet the leper father, you're like, aren't you dead yet? Can you just fucking die?
Yeah.
Someone drown this prick. Like,
well, it's funny for a movie that it has some real father issues, which I like in a good way. Like I don't mean it like daddy issues. I mean the movie has a lot to say about it's one of the domineering themes. Fatherhood over nurturing fatherhood. Because we have these two characters. We have Longshanks and the leper, who are both really dominating father figures who think they know exactly how to do what they're meant to be doing, and turn out to be both really shit at it. And have no compassion, because of that lack of compassion, their influence is going to end. Whereas you have people like Brian Cox, you have James Cosmo, and these are the guys that are more nurturing and are more sympathetic and teach to be compassionate. Their legacies will be the ones that continue.
Yeah. Even William Wallace's father at the start, we get 2 scenes with him. And in those 2 scenes, you see more compassion than you do with any of the Longshanks or the leper. It's just because you think that he's going to be a hard ass. You think that
you do.
William Wallace's father, because he becomes what we know him to become, we think that, this guy's going to, he's going to get his skin toughened somehow, obviously from his dad, which he doesn't. And his dad is like, what are you doing? I'm going to fight. Yeah, of course you are. You're going to be a great fighter.
He
builds him up.
His line delivery when the kid goes, but I can fight, and he looks at him and just goes, I know you can. Like it's one of my favorite line deliveries. It's so truthful and like really, really lovely, and it's such a great response because it's not belittling in any way. You could see this movie just being like him scruffing his hair and just being like, oh, you'll get your chance, little one. Or something
exactly.
where it's a bit patronizing. He sits down, he comes to his level, and he's like, I know you can. I know, and you'll get your chance. It's just, it's so, you're right. It's really, really lovely. He's a great figure. And then you have Brian Cox, who you think as well.
Beautiful.
You think he's going to be a big old hard ass because he rides in and he's like,
Exactly.
I'm your uncle. And he's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But he's the same.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, let's learn Latin and you're going to learn to use your head.
I'm
I'll
gonna
teach you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to use this before you use this.
Exactly.
But I'm going to teach you both. That's the best part.
For sure.
Good movie.
The other thing I was going to say, it's funny because we were talking about it before, but I just remembered I had a note based around it as well. You know how we were kind of having a bitch and moan about the lack of kind of historical accuracy. We'll say that.
Oh, sure.
The movie acknowledges it, though. The movie is constantly acknowledging the fact that this is like legend. This is like rumor and speculation.
It's a tale.
Because the first line in the movie is something about how, well, look, history is written by people that choose to write it. So that maybe this could have happened, but maybe not. You have the stuff between the princess and her maid when they're like when she's talking about what happened to William Wallace, and it's all this elaboration. It's kind of like a game of like whispers. It's all just it's grown in esteem as it's gone on. Yeah. And then you even get the Rocky IV moment where he's running up the hill and he gets to have another big sweeping shot, and it cuts back to all the people in the towns sharing these rumors about him. I think the movie knows that it's not. It's the legend of Wallace. It's not the truthful retelling, the actual retelling of what happened. So
yeah, that's true.
It's funny, like the movie.
I do like that.
People seem to ignore those elements of the movie that is well and truly establishing that it exists in a fantasy kind of landscape.
Yeah. Entertainment, man.
That's it, man. What's wrong with being fucking entertained?
Entertainment, exactly.
I don't care that he never met that French princess, but it's how good. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have.
How good is it at the end when she whispers it to him?
Yes.
Oh, fuck you! I love it. It's
such a great moment because you see the look on his face and you're just like, yeah, take that, you fucking
exactly.
piece of
and he
shit.
starts breathing heavy, and you're like, yeah, that's right. Fucking choke on it.
Exactly. And we wouldn't have had that moment if we didn't have it. Hang on, that sounds really dumb. But if we didn't change it, we wouldn't have that moment. And that moment's great. And we need that moment because it makes it a more rounded, well-told story.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I have a question.
Yes, ask away, Nicholas.
1996 Oscars, because it was 96 when it won.
Mm.
Was it 196 when it won? Yeah. Was he up for actor? He wouldn't have been up for actor.
I feel like he was nominated, but I don't think he won. What does it say?
Hang on.
Let's go to the tape.
I haven't found it yet.
Let's
go to the tape.
I'll see what I can find. I've got my little Oscars app.
Right, here we go. Leading role. No, he was not.
He was not, no. I find that kind of remarkable. But having seen seeing the nominations, I guess that's okay. I think, this movie probably isn't necessarily remembered for its acting performances, which I think is a little unfair because I think it's really hard to act in these kind of movies and do a really good job of it.
Well, I think my second note is that I think that this isn't. I'm kind of glad that he didn't get best leading actor because I think it's an ensemble piece. I really think it is.
I get what you mean.
Be one without the other. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
there's no real standout in the acting. I think that it's the storytelling does its best with all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I see where you're coming from. I actually like it amazes me that something like McGowan, though, so Longshanks didn't pick up like a cheeky supporting actor.
Supporting.
Because, you like that role's made for that. Like just dripping with evil, kind of chewing the scenery as just the biggest prick in the world. And then you get those great moments where he's just like there's one bit where he breaks into what is like a Shakespearean soliloquy. After he's thrown.
When was that?
After he's thrown the guy out the window, and so his son tries to stab him, and he punches him, and he just sits and just starts talking. So I guess if it's what they want, I will give them what they need. Then with the thing, and he's not talking to anybody. True. He's just having a good old fashioned soliloquy in the corner, out for the audience. Like that's how old school, like epic evil he is. He's Shakespearean evil.
Just starts monologuing.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
It's great.
So good.
But he's like, and then those great moments when he's on the battlefield And he's basically just saying, all right, well, let's go, shall we? That's good.
Shall we? Let's bring out the arrows.
Yeah. Oh,
so
we'll hit
our people are still on the field. Yeah, that's fine.
I love his. It's.
Oh no, it's not that. It's
like, well, we'll get theirs too.
We'll get theirs too. We will, won't we? We'll get theirs too.
We'll get theirs as well. It's such a great response because it's like what kind of he finds it so irritating to have to kind of defend that decision. It's just like, well, I know that, but we'll hit theirs.
I know that. We'll hit theirs too.
Yeah, he's great. He's funny. Really wonderful.
He is good. He is very good. I haven't seen him in anything else. Well, I don't know him from anything
Patrick
else.
McGowan was he was a British actor from a TV show that was quite popular, and I cannot remember the name of the show right now. Oh God, you would know it because it was a JB Hi-Fi
staple.
Yeah. Oh, he was the warden in Escape from Alcatraz. That's right.
I haven't seen
Prisoner.
Is that
Prisoner.
good?
The British Prisoner series. Remember
Prisoner?
Remember that came out on DVD?
Yeah,
and it was a big deal.
Everyone went fucking nuts for it. Yeah, that wasn't British. That was Australian.
No, not that one.
Oh,
yeah, not the Australian
the other
one. The Shock Records had like a box set. And
right.
It was you would remember it if you saw it.
Nice. He was in the year after this. He went from Braveheart, Academy Award winning Braveheart, to Simon Wince's The Phantom with Billy Zane. Tyson,
I'm going to rewatch The Phantom one day. Yeah, I would like to rewatch it again at some point.
I own The Phantom for some reason. I think because it was $2, and I made Sam watch it, and she almost broke up with me.
Yeah,
almost.
Right. That is a response. That is a.
She's like, Jesus, what kind of a fucking human being makes me watch that?
Hey,
what are you doing?
It goes through walks.
Like, hey, I just made you a cup of tea.
It's Billy Zane. I mean, there are worse things in the world than spending 2 hours just staring at Billy Zane.
Exactly. And Christy Swanson, she was a 90s
classic.
She was the 90s heartthrob.
She was indeed. Nick, that about wraps me for Braveheart.
Yeah, man. Braveheart. I will watch this again.
Oh, always.
I will.
You're so right, though, what you were saying before. I've seen the first hour and a half of this movie at least double more times than I've seen the second half because...
Second half, yeah.
If it's ever just on, I watch it, but then, life happens and you've got other stuff you need to do.
And you're like, oh, shit. It's all right, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, but no matter what, if you turn it on and it's within the first 10 minutes, you're stuck watching it for an hour and a half at least, and then you go, oh, shit, fuck, I've got to go do this thing.
Exactly. And you know what it is? It's that fucking... It started the episode, and we'll talk about it at the end. It's that fucking score, Tyson.
Oh,
it just goes, come on, come and have I'm going to tell you a tale. Come on. Do
you know the bit that I know that I'm in and I'm like, this movie has got me completely under its thumb? It's the moment where his dad dies and he has the dream about him. That little 10-second sequence.
Right.
I'm just like, this movie has
when they're
me
lying on the table.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
And you know what it is? It's the shot. It's because there's no extra room on the table when the camera pushes in. He turns his head and then he's on there with the table with him. And I'm just like, that's clever. Yeah. That's great. I'm in. I'm hooked. Love it.
It's very smart.
And once you start talking about destiny and stuff like that in a movie like this, I get a bit kind of like, yeah. William Wallace, you're bound for greatness. You're going to do it. You're going to do it, buddy.
You're bound for greatness. Nice
one, Nick.
Tyson, that's it. Braveheart, man.
That is going to wrap. Well, I think that might wrap us, Nick. But we've got to talk about. Well, actually, first of all, why don't you just remind the people where they can find our show, Nicholas?
Oh, sure, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen Braveheart, what are you doing? You're sitting, you're ISOing by yourself, and that's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
But put down the knitting for just a little second and chuck on Braveheart.
And if it's been because of reputation, or because I know it does carry that reputation as being kind of like not as good as people talk about, and like kind of a shitty movie that somehow got Oscars. Just try and put that aside. If that's the reason why you haven't watched it, put it aside, put it on, and just allow yourself to be swept up in it.
Yeah, that's the lovely Tyson way of saying it. Nick's way of saying it is they're fucking dead wrong. Watch Braveheart, you idiot. But yes, definitely watch Braveheart. And if you have liked what Tyson and myself have said thus far, or if you like our show even a little bit, you can subscribe by hitting that subscribe button. We would love you so much. Other than that, like, rate, review. Go on, review it. Review our podcast.
Yeah, we haven't had a review for a while. I'd love a new review. That'd be fun.
Double dare you. Exactly. Other than that, we are on all the social medias, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, We are on YouTube. We do a little on the Gmail. You can email Tyson by nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com.
That's it.
If you wish to ask us to do a film, we know that Halloween is somewhat around the corner.
Well, that's we don't have much to look forward to at the moment, so we're looking forward to that, Nicholas. That's what it is. We're looking forward to watching a lot of horror movies and getting back into the spirit of watching horror movies, because I've been a little bit out of the spirit of watching horror movies, Nick.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I feel like real life is enough of a fucking terror train.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. Me and my wife are kind of chipping away at. She said one every 2 months. I was like, I can do that, and we're chipping away at Friday the 13th. So if you have a look at my letterbox, I think I did 3 not that long ago.
Yeah, you did not like 3 at all, did you?
It was fucking poxy.
Oh, that's
2 was way better.
Yeah, I've heard 2 is really good.
3 sucked. But Tyson, if any person who loves film has to watch 3, because Tyson, it was Friday the 13th 3D.
Yeah, it was
3D, and there were so many moments where something would jut out at the screen.
So good.
And it almost earned another star just for those moments.
You didn't get to watch it with the like crappy blue and red 3D glasses?
No, I own those blue and red glasses because of Nightmare on Elm Street 6, but
yes.
no, I don't.
Okay.
I didn't do that because the version that I was watching didn't have that 3D section.
Sure.
Yeah. I digress. What was I saying?
Oh, we were just wrapping up the show.
We were just wrapping up the show. So yes, Tyson and myself are big fans of Letterboxd app. So if you wish to find out what Tyson and I rated Braveheart, then you'll have to look us up. You can look us up on Tyson. You can follow Tyson on TYS_videotape, and I am Nick, NIC_videotape.
That's it. And I'll just say again, if anyone can take the time and maybe share us on their social media, platform of choice. If you are listening to the show, just screenshot that your whatever app you're using and share it around. That'd be really fantastic. We'd just love to kind of build up a bit of love for our community, which would be cool. Very good. Next week, Nicholas.
Tyson.
We've received a request on the email.
Nice.
On the Nick, Tys and Videotape @gmail.com email account. We have received a request. Friend of the show, Luke Watsford, has written, and he didn't spend a lot of time writing this email, I'll tell you that much.
I like it.
But it's straight to the point.
You don't need much.
That's it. You don't need much. He gets right to the fucking point.
You don't need much.
I feel like I should read it out.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Luke, by the way.
So, from Luke Watsford. Thank you, Luke. The subject line is the film that we are doing, and we will be doing Dark City by the Alex Porras directed sci-fi thriller. The body of the email simply says, do it. Subject line, Dark City. Email, do it.
Do it.
Thank you, Luke Watsford. We will be doing it.
We receive your email, and we will be doing it.
We will be doing it. I haven't seen Dark City for a while. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is
neither have I.
This is one of my secret favorite movies, Nicholas. Now we might need to specify which version we're going to be watching, though.
Okay.
So I think we might, because I think the easiest one to get your hands on at the moment, I think, is the director's cut. I don't think the original theatrical is easy to see at the moment.
Right.
So we'll assume that we'll be doing
that. It's not. I don't think it's streamable.
At all.
Checked. Let me have another squizzer on my other.
So that's going to be.
4 offers available.
That's all right. So we can rent it, which is good. We'll be renting it.
Nice
on Apple TV. I might just double check quickly. Well, whatever version it is that is available on Apple TV to rent will be the version we'll be talking about. So if that is the director's cut, or if it is the theatrical, whichever one it is, I hope it's the director's cut.
I'm up for it. Let's do it. I don't think I've seen the director's cut. I think I own it. There's a DVD over there that I still haven't opened that says Dark City with its nice shiny cover. But nice pick, Luke. I love Dark City. I love Dark City because of the amount of noir it has. It is a fucking film noir movie.
That gets to your loves.
Damn,
I love it because it's a bit of a headfuck sci-fi, and they're one of my favorite.
Yeah. Fuck yes.
So that's going to be really exciting, Nick. We'll be having a good old chat about that next week. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Nick, I'll see you next week, buddy.
I'll see you next week, man.
All right, man. I'll chat to you then.
Stay healthy, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.
See you, bye.